This is the 1-minute question. Who are you and why are you running for Uinta Sheriff?
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I know it's busy summertime and it's important to educate yourself on what's going on. My name's Doug Matthews. I've been the sheriff for the last 7.5 years. I've been in law enforcement my whole adult life. My family, I was born and raised here. My family, most of them still lives in Uinta County. So things are important to me. But I assure you that Bridger Valley is just as important to me as the other side of the county. We expend just as many services over here, sometimes even more than we do in Evanston, in that area. You know, I think it's important too that as I was in my law enforcement career, we never get, you know, the pay's not that good. So I've always had a second job. You know, I helped my grandfather on his ranch. You know, I know how to work hard. Thank you.
You might as well stay up there. You can start this next question. What plans are in place or proposed plans are there to ensure sheriff's officers, schools, and the public are ready to prevent or respond to school shootings?
Right now, we're working on that this summer. Last week on Friday, we did a combined training with Mountain View and Evanston, the sheriff's office over in Evanston at Uinta Middle School. We had 2 classes that everyone that we could afford off the schedule went through to do that. This next week, on Friday the 12th, we'll be conducting a full-on exercise as part of our Homeland Security requirements at Mountain View High School. And it'll be a full-blown exercise where we're going to have EMS, fire department, sheriff's office, the departments in the valley are all invited to attend. And it's terribly important that we're prepared and ready for such an event. Thank you.
What are your priorities and difficulties when hiring new officers? And what are your biggest red flags?
Well, hiring and everything with the defund the police movement, it changed the world of law enforcement really overnight almost. So it instantly became harder to get people that were interested in doing law enforcement work. And so we've been as creative as we can about ways to get people involved and interested in a job in law enforcement. Every person that we have, every deputy that we have, you can look at it as about $125,000 a year. By the time you pay their wages, benefits, equip them, train them, put them in a vehicle, and so it's very expensive. So we don't want to lose anyone. It takes about 2 to 5 years before a police officer really can function as a solo police officer. There's just so much to learn and know, and it's very important that they know what they're doing. And so we are looking at other ways. One thing that we've worked on this summer, it started in the springtime with Evanston School, but I plan on working in with Mountain View and Lyman also, is Sheriff's Academy, where we have students doing their senior projects. And we have 4 from Evanston that will be starting that this school year, and hopefully we can get some from Mountain View and Lyman. But anyway, they would be hands-on working in the jail. We put them through training, we make sure they're safe, and they'd always be with someone. But they would run dispatch. You'd be the voice on the radio. They would be in detention and booking someone in and passing meds and out on patrol and actually doing the work. And I'm very hopeful that that will generate some interest and that we'll be able to hire some new people. Thank you.
The next question. In light of current events and the national conversations concerning law enforcement, what type of officer trainings and specializations do you think the Sheriff's Department would benefit from the most?
Well, that training is very important, and we've already done all of that. Every officer, every deputy has been through de-escalation training now and duty to intervene training. They've also been through autism training. Those are all super important. We're out working with the state of Wyoming and WASCOPS that has a grant to have a 40-hour school for every dispatcher, detention officer, and patrol officer to go through crisis intervention training, which is a 40-hour class, much more in depth. But all of those things are super important. In this world today, we've got to be smarter, we've got to do things smarter, and we've got to make sure our people are trained right. Thank you.
This is the last question for the sheriff's candidates, and I will tell you that this question or a variation of it was asked probably 7 to 10 times more than all the other questions put together. How would you, as sheriff, promote cooperation between the different law enforcement agencies in Uinta County, particularly the Mountain View and Lyman police departments?
I believe we do work together. We have to because it's a small community, but it's a two-way street also. We've never turned down a request for service to Lyman or Mountain View, but they're their own police departments, and so I feel like, you know, what they do, their duty is within those town limits, and I hate to call them out on county business when they have their own business to take care of. So it's a fine line and it's a balancing act, but I leave that up to the supervisors that are on shift to make those decisions on what they need. You know, is Highway Patrol closer? Is a Game and Fish closer? Can we call on them to help? I mean, Lyman might be as far away as calling someone out from home. You know, if we're, you know, over in Robertson or somewhere, maybe Mountain View's not available. But we took calls from Mountain View for an extended period of time this spring when they were having such a hard time with their staffing and taking care of everything, and we're happy to do it. I told the town mayor and council that we will never not take a call anywhere in the county. If we're the ones out and can take it, we'll do it. I just want to thank everyone again for coming out tonight, and you know, use this to educate yourself, dig in deeper. You can call me. I've always had a listed number. I've never not had a listed number. And I encourage you to vote on August 16th. Thank you.